and welcome to ShoreShack Adventures. Last week on ShoreShack Adventures, your party, aka the Boar Boys, had started work within the cavern, shoveling human waste into the holes it all had fallen beside. These holes are in reference to the sewer holes from a previous episode that seemed to no longer be aligned with the pipes above. The cause of this was unknown, but is suspected by your party to be some sort of tectonic shift. With the aid of the engineers supplied by Elmar, as well as the pikemen and crossbowmen, the party went to work. As Xander began to lay a trap in the northern cavern, Super felt the urge to explore deeper into the caverns and search for a flower that grows within fire itself. Searching on the bank of the magma flow, he had made several discoveries. All of a sudden, the ceiling of the cavern path collapsed, trapping Super away from his party. This rubble also uncovered another cavern above. Through some quick thinking and tactical conversation using communication stones and Shotutatu's grand wisdom, Super was able to turn into a squirrel and navigate back to his party through the ventilation shafts. United once again, he told the party of a group of individuals in the cave who said something along the lines of, "Where is he? You said he's in here somewhere. That thief." As your party continued to work, with Xander accompanying their efforts with lighthearted music. 4 hours of work was underway when a hole cropped out of the cavern wall. The party ready to attack whatever rose from that hole. Your party yelled. Nothing responded, and nothing came out of the hole. But after an hour more of work, Xander began to be beaten by some invisible force. Suddenly, giant dwarves, pale in nature, beat upon your party with war picks. The swift moves in combat your party made felled these ghastly cousins of Red Cloud, one tossed into the pit of human excrement. Now, we left last episode with an engineer falling to his death, unable to be saved. But during that combat, your DM had forgotten to roll for any of your NPC companions, the pikeman, the archer, nor did I roll for the movement for any of them as well. Now, because of this, the Grand Council has decided to allow for a single roll for a possible redemption of said dead NPC. Knowing there is some chances that the actions of these individuals might have some butterfly effect in saving the engineer, we will pick up there today with a simple roll to see the engineer's fate can be altered. Cue the music.
I will sharpen my axe on my enemy's face.
Hey, where's that gold at?
What are we doing here, man?
Jesus, Jehoshaphat! Like, where did this fucking hat come from?
It feels good to be back.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Make surfboards with my bunyip. I don't even care about the gold anymore.
A single roll, huh?
All right, gentlemen. Now, this is how we're going to play it. If you recall, the engineer had fallen to his death, piled in human excrement. But what we will do is a little replay. You will choose who gets to roll. It can be either a skilled roll, where you tell me what it is you're trying to do, or a straight roll. The DC is going to be 10. If you succeed, you can come up with an elaborate story of how the engineer was saved from sure death. Who shall roll?
I'll roll.
It'll be
Wait,
Super
whoa.
because he's the. Huh?
Do you want to roll, Show?
Well, first of all, Somebody got their speaker turned up pretty loud. I'm hearing everything twice. Is nobody else having that problem?
I'm not.
Is that better?
Ba-da-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum.
Yeah, it's workable. There's just a delay. Are all you guys listening to this on speakers?
Yeah, I'm just using my computer speakers. I'm not hearing double.
Yeah, usually I
I'm
don't
not
get
hearing
feedback from
double
that, but
either.
somebody's has turned up a little bit or something. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Okay, I can live with it. And I was also going to say, Xander seems like a really technically skilled dude. I feel like if it is a question of pulling something off with skill, Xander's your man, I think. I don't know. I don't have both your characters in front of me, but
I mean, are you saying that we're using our skill checks or
It's
we're
gonna
using
be
I think you've got the
straight
highest.
roll.
I think you've got the
Straight
highest
roll.
stats.
Straight roll DC 10.
I thought you said skill roll though.
I've
so you're
changed my
just saying
mind.
to roll the dice if it's a 10 or better.
Correct.
Well, see,
And you guys get to make the story together of how they were saved.
if that's the case, it's Super's fault that this thing happened anyway. So I would say he rolls.
Is that okay?
Yeah, but whatever it takes. I've got to leave and come back or something. Actually, I can't live with this. This is too annoying.
All right, so I shall roll the d20. 17.
So if you recall, and we will pick up right here, the party is battling this ghastly giant dwarf, fighting and hacking, and eventually he is grappled, pushed to the sheer edge of the cliff, and tossed off. He reaches up and grabs the engineer as he goes off the ledge.
So if I got a good story, I think, or whatever, unless somebody else wants to do one. Of how I save them.
Is that any better, Show?
I found out what it is. It's roll 20. Xander, your sound is on in roll 20. So I got to find a way to mute the.
How do I turn that off?
Somewhere in the roll, like settings.
Oh yeah, if I knew how to turn it off, I would turn it off.
You hit the little gear in the top right corner and move down to video audio chat options.
How's that? Is that any better?
It's just like quadrupled.
Really?
All right.
I just
So
changed master music.
just go ahead and mute that. Mute the tab or whatnot, if you could.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a
Oh, we go mute site. There we go. I'll just mute the whole thing.
All
Yeah,
right, super.
All good. Yeah, perfect.
okay. Cool. So the dwarf starts falling, and he does like kind of trip the worker, right? The engineer, and the engineer starts to fall. But as he falls, I like run up and I like stick out my staff for him to hold on to. And he catches it, and I kind of use his momentum to kind of swing him back up, like into safety.
Okay.
If that's cool.
Now to bring us into the show, let's do that. Say something, of course, in Super's voice, because by God, that's the best part of the show.
Right now?
Yes. So
All right.
as he's going, he gets pulled off. He reaches out, grabs your staff, and you're a short little fella. And you're alongside, somehow manage to swoop him up with leverage, and he goes wherever the hell he goes. Tell us how that goes.
Fall no further, you friend of the boys.
All right, show Xander, what do you say to this?
Great job, Super. That was a great save, but I'm trashed. I am. Man, I forgot how far down I was. I said earlier that I didn't need the healing potions. However, if somebody has one to spare, I'm not far beyond taking it.
I think I got you there, Xander. Let me just look around at my stuff quick.
1 second, guys. I think my wife just came back. I just want to say hi.
I do. There you go. How many do you need? Just the one? Here you go.
I'm down 20.
I think one will do you. I think one will do pretty much anyone. These things are pretty powerful.
Mike, what does the healing potion bring back?
Healing potions automatically heal full, and I think it's a D10, so that'll be 10 HP.
Oh, it heals a full D10. I thought it healed your health full.
Nope. It's just max. Normally, on a game that's not ShoreShack Adventures, you roll a D10, but I figure a health potion should just heal you. Less mechanics, more healing, more battle.
I just think of that as a full heal because I basically have 10 health points.
Well, I should be good. I should be good right here. I'll if I really need to, I'll heal myself, but I should be good. I don't want to waste them all. We still have a ways to go.
And I can heal you too, you know.
I'm just down 10 now, so let's hold off.
Okay.
Unless I go down and then I change my mind.
Right.
So as you're exchanging healing potions and drinking and coming down from a ferocious combat with two giants in a little cavern, one of their bodies is gone and one still lays before you.
All right. I had planned this last week, so I was going to search the body.
Okay. Roll me an investigation check. Roll me a medicine check.
Medicine. That
Yeah.
sucks. Four.
You find 49 silver pieces in a pocket in his vest, scrummaging underneath a very heavy piece of scale mail, which you're also able to procure. He has a shield laying beside him, as well as a war pick and a javelin on his back.
All of which are too big to use.
They have shrunk in size.
Okay, so name them off again. You had scale mail.
Yes, 49 silver pieces, scale mail, shield, a war pick, and a javelin. You also notice, now that you're next to the body with your 4 medicine check, that he is no longer 8 feet tall. With your magnificent 4, you're able to tell he is about 4 feet tall.
I believe these dwarves were enchanted.
Some kind of incantation. You know, I'm thinking we know one person in Ironton who's particularly gifted with magic.
That's true, and she does not like. I'm not going to say she doesn't like us because she doesn't really know us, but she probably may have had something to do with this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she had a hand in any shady goings-ons in Ironton.
So, can I pull out a book and sketch what this dwarf looks like?
You sure can.
So, since we're obviously not going to keep this body, at least maybe I can sketch his features out so we can have a record of what this guy looks like.
Give me a performance check, and we'll call that one good.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Daggone it. How about an 11? That's so close to being a 19.
Okay, you draw a dwarf of some sort.
A 2. A 2 with a +9. Come on.
I'm over there looking at this drawing, and I'm going, I don't know. I don't know if you really captured his likeness. Do you mind if I take that pencil and paper and try and draw this guy?
Oh, please.
Let me give it a shot. I really think I can get his
I think
eyes
it's
right.
the lighting. The lighting's throwing me off. And I'll pull up dancing lights so he can see better.
Nice. Give yourself a +1 to whatever you roll because of the dancing lights.
Alrighty. Did you say +1?
Yep.
That'll be
Ooh.
23.
Oh, now that's much better. I mean, I loved your scaling that you had there. That looks great.
I thought he's got an evocative sort of face in Death, doesn't he? And it was really big a minute ago, so I could really see it.
I missed this scar. This is trash, and I'll rip it out and wad it up and throw it away.
So
Or actually, I'll throw it down the
what
hole.
you
I
draw.
don't want to litter. I'll throw it down the hole.
Okay. And you hear. Describe me what you draw, because you have a 23. It's going to be pretty much exactly how you describe. I just want to know what it is you're drawing.
Show draws. He's not the best artist, but he has an eye for detail, and he just was inspired on this one. So it's like kind of a caricature where I picked out whatever the most noticeable physical traits, be it a scar or I don't know, like any kind of thing missing in their ear, any kind of like unique jewelry or something like that. You know, and those things are magnified and big, and he's got his eyes are X's.
All right. Yeah, you're able to draw any, or at least accentuate any abnormalities between him and, say, Red Cloud, who's sitting next to you. You notice that the nose is a bit wider in itself. The eyes are a bit smaller. His ears are much larger, not elven-like, but just larger in girth and circumference. And you're able to draw all this and really accentuate it. It almost looks humorous. With his giant floppy ears. One is disconnected, the other is connected.
Oh, so he's a mutant.
Of some kind. Maybe part of Xavier's troop.
That just shows he's not paying attention.
Not at all.
I would also like this shield if nobody else is too attached to it. I've never even thought of this, but I'm always getting knocked out, and if I have a shield, it's like, duh, dude. I've been walking around just with nothing.
You know, I would have too much trouble playing my lute if I was carrying a shield, so I really have no use for it.
And I am nimble on my feet, where I do not need a shield.
Awesome,
So all
thank
yours.
you. All right. Show picks up the shield, tries out his weight a little bit.
It's a bit heavy, but it fits you. It fits you well in the sense that you could almost stand it up in front of you, crouch down, and it would completely hide you.
All right, is there? Yeah.
Full size shield.
Like the Roman legionnaires or whatever kind of a thing? Like the big square ones?
More or less. It's
Yeah.
got the heaviness and the girth, though it's still a little bit rounded edges. Show that'll give you a +2 to your armor class if you have it wielded.
Ooh.
Good deal.
All right, who takes what else?
Is there anything that seems to be like a magical trinket? Can I like see anything that he might have that might boost my magic?
I'm going to pocket the 49 silver pieces.
That's fine. Is there any more gold? For money?
Nothing else that you can see.
Okay. Same thing with like trinkets or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
There's a. Let's just go ahead and call it a leather braid that you find carved between his nose, the little piece under his nose here, is a leather braid or dreadlock coming down from that middle piece of your nose.
That's pretty metal, I gotta say. Well, I don't want to like rip it off of his nose or like and I don't want to like cut the braid either.
I mean, did you say that's pretty, and then you're kind of like iffy about it, or what?
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool, but I don't know.
Okay,
what
Xander will reach down and rip it out his nose and hand it to you.
And you see that part of his nose just fly off, and it flings into a corner
He's
of the cavern.
dead. Here, we're going to throw him down the crapper anyway.
I know. It's just that's like wow.
Do you want me to put it back?
No. I mean, I'll take it. Thank you. Like Super's like happy to have it, but he's still kind of like just startled by the whole thing. And can Sumpa somehow like tie it on the back of his like hair so it's like a rat tail kind of thing?
Yeah,
You know that was just in his nose, right?
I'm like, yeah. And I just keep going.
That's gross.
And Super's like, I guess.
As you start to weave it into your hair and you kind of tie it, you notice it cinches really well because the middle of it is still damp from whatever was going on in his nose, and allows your hair to really tighten in on the leather, so you know it's secure.
Cool. Nice. Do I look good? I asked the guys. I'm like,
You tug on it. Is it tight? Is it tight?
like, yes, like it's Xander.
Give me a performance check, Super.
Not the best. 10 total.
Okay. It's not flowing with your hair. It's a bit like crooked and off-centered and just kind of like dangling, kind of blowing if there was wind. But it doesn't look bad. It seems to be textured right in your hair, or what little hair you have left.
Right. I'm happy with it.
All right. So you are amongst the cave.
All right, now I'm going to take the body once we're done with it and toss it down the hole.
You have disposed of the body. There's still a hole in the wall where these creatures potentially have come out of, invisible at first. You still have a small bit of shit left to shovel. And then the engineers are now looking, kind of recovering, checking out their friend, making sure he's okay. And it looks like they're getting ready to start moving Earth.
All right, guys, let's get back to work. Show, do you have some way to mend that hole to make it not a hole anymore?
Yeah, I think I can move. I think I can move this earth remotely. Not a lot of it at a time, but if they're just digging, if they're just using tools, I figured I could help.
So how does that
We
look?
can close this up and keep anything from sneaking up on us again. We're a little bit more aware now, so let's keep our eyes open.
Okay, yeah, good call. So, yeah, I'd like to cast Mold Earth on the entrance that the creatures came from.
Okay. And yeah, this goes ahead.
Well, actually, before you do that, can I poke my head inside there? I just want to see how far the tunnel goes and what direction.
By all
How
means, I was thinking of that, yeah.
How far in would you like your head to go?
Well, I'd like to look inside and span the dancing lights, whichever. Does it just go one way?
Yes, if you look, it goes forward. It's peculiar because it would be way too small for an 8-foot dwarf to come through. You get the sense that they transformed and grew after they left this cavern. It's about a 4-foot, well-structured cavern. It doesn't seem like it happened haphazardly. There's an occasion a brace kind of made with the structure of the wall and how they picked and carved through it. It goes in for about 7 to 8 feet and then curves down into the right.
That's Bill Clinton. All right. All right. So we'll send the. Oh, wait. Let me look.
What is it we'd like to do? Super, what is it that you're doing? Or saying. You see Xander's head inside of a hole.
It's still a decent size, right?
Like
It's
Xander,
about 4 feet. It's about 4 feet, but well made.
like
Okay, so I'd have to crouch down. Super's about that size, right?
He's on the upwards up of 3 feet.
be like, Xander, did you want me to go in there? I could check it out.
Whoa! I'm not asking you to go in the hole. I'm just merely looking in the hole, but I'm a little too big. And it could be dangerous in there. There could be more. What do you say we just fill it up? Or do you want to just kind of, I don't know. I mean, are we going to want to go this way at some point?
I mean, I don't know. Let me just go check it out real quick. Scout it out.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Do you want to do it in this form, or you got something different, something quicker, something smaller, or maybe not so visible?
Well, I mean, I won't go deep into and check it out. I'll just kind of step in, look around.
Do you want the lights?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to send the dancing lights as far as I can, kind of down the tunnel. And then when I can't see them anymore, I will go to that point, kind of crawl to that point, and keep them going.
Okay. Yeah, as you turn, Super, you can see a well-lit cavern that continues going downward. The lights, because of the narrow view of this, the lights give you maybe about 30 to 40 foot visibility, and you can see your shadow kind of casting far until the lights catch up to you and go beyond you. They seem to continue down for about 60 or so feet ahead.
And no real change in the pattern of the cavern, if you would.
It is a straight shot.
Straight shot.
About maybe a 20 to 30 degree incline.
I mean, I'll come back and I'll just be like, I don't know where this goes. Maybe it is best just to fill it in, unless we're all able to go. I mean, it's still the small way the whole way through, right? It's not like we could kind of break down that first part and then we could all go.
It gets bigger and smaller depending on where throughout the cavern, but I think about averages 4.5 feet.
Right. So, yeah, not really reasonable for us to blast our way through to find out what it is. We're like, all right, boys, fill her in, is what I say.
All right, you etch your way out. Show, how does this look?
Show's just kind of figuring out an incantation. He's got Eldritch Blast figured out. He's got some disguising stuff figured out because that's sort of second nature, but this is maybe he's trying to figure it out a little bit. And I imagine the dirt is just sort of roughly, awkwardly sort of jutting out in different ways as he's sort of figuring out how he can commune with the earth and get this entryway basically just to collapse in on itself.
Do you make any noises while that happens?
Not unless it helped. I don't know. If it really wasn't working, he maybe might give it a and if that started to work, he would probably keep going. I think this is working. But I don't think it helps, to be honest. I think he'd probably just give that a go once and pretend like he's clearing his throat to make up for it.
Yeah, so as soon as you started humming, things started moving at an exceptional pace. Before there was just sand kind of coming up and collapsing. When you go, and it's almost like you hit a frequency within the rock of the earth itself. and that frequency maybe is helping move and mobilize this as it builds. And you can see just the last hole, and then a rock just falls from behind the thing you're creating and just seals it off. Great orchestration.
All right, let's move some dirt. I got a knack to that. I gotta figure something out there.
All right. So
All right.
as you all have sealed it, what are you all doing to help with or during the engineers' efforts?
I'm trying to think what I can't really do.
Well, I'm going to sit and ritually cast Unseen Servant again, so the Unseen Servant can assist.
And I will assist by like I'll be like, hey, like I could do mold earth. Like I show him what I can do, and I'm like, just tell me where this can help, and I'll help how I can by doing that. Because I have mold earth cantrip.
Okay, you do as well.
Yeah.
Nice work.
And the Unseen Servant will last for 1 hour.
And I also approach them after having done this, like, I can move earth as well, tell me what I need to do. And I also have Unseen Servant, so I'd like to cast that as well, provided there's a use for him, and have him work alongside us.
Nice. This is what we're going to do, because you guys are all very much assisting with the earth moving portion. There was 5 hours total left. I took an hour off based on just your assistance show, but if everyone else is assisting, are you going to assist for the entire 5 hours?
Me?
Everybody.
Yeah, provided we don't get attacked by giant.
You to cast
orcs,
Unseen Servant once it goes away, and so it will stay there for the hour, and then I can help during the rest of the time. So,
Okay, go ahead and just give me a D4 roll, whoever wants to do that. And that's how many hours will get knocked off due to your assistance.
Like everybody does 1d4.
Nope, just a total of 1D4. You guys can choose who rolls.
I rolled earlier for the thing, so
3.
All right. You knock 3 hours off. So there are only 2 hours of work left.
All right, so we need to roll then for that, right?
You were getting ready to do some work, and you start to continue. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead and roll. I have a certain thing that I must figure out here. Go ahead and roll.
You want to take this one?
Sure. What is it? D what?
D20.
Dose.
All right. So just as you begin work, and this is not to the point. This is not to the point where you guys really start working more than 10 minutes. So you get the sense that this role is not taking place. The role that you got with the two isn't quite taking place yet. But suddenly down the cavern, you hear the guards that you have positioned along the western side clench up. You hear the armor of the pikeman mutter something to the archer, who then stands back. Suddenly you hear in a very toned voice scream, "It's him! It's him! I found him! I knew he was in here! I told you guys!" You look over and you don't see anything yet.
I'm gonna stop doing what I'm doing with the whatever and run over to those guards. The guards are near where this noise came from.
Yeah, it's in that direction.
I'd like to run to the guards and ask them if they
the
see
noise.
anything.
It seems like the noise has come from quite far away.
All right. Nonetheless, I come up to the guards and say, "Did you hear that?"
So yes, it sounds like a squeaky, pestering man.
Is this record familiar to you at all?
Well, yeah, it couldn't be. And the archer goes, "Yeah, I think it is. Sounds like Tommy Two Tones."
No way. Oh, by the way, my
No
roll
way.
20, it's all black on my screen. Just FYI.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
It,
Oh,
you've got to go down to the map. The map's in the bottom corner.
I think I'm all
Yeah,
the way. I see
I-
I see our tokens. I just don't see any map.
Yeah, I see Super and Red Cloud.
Oh, I got you.
all right. Give me a second to fix this for you, potentially.
Well, if you look on here, you can see the map here.
Be like, wait, does that really sound like? Yeah, I'm just looking at that for now. It's like, wait, so Super runs over to the guards too, just to, like, talk to them. Like, Tommy Two Tones, really? And then Super kind of looks over at Xander like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Show us this anything. You guys got business.
If that son of a bitch is down here, I've got some. I've got a rematch ahead of me.
Be like, wait, I believe wasn't Tommy Two Tones taken? Tommy Two Tones was taken to prison, I believe, in the castle, right? No,
No, he was just taken out of the dance, out of the ball.
right. And I just asked the engineers, do you happen to know if like this cave system connects directly to the castle in any way? Just because I know that's the last place you saw Tommy Two Tones. I don't know. I'm just curious on why he would be in the caves to begin with, I guess.
We shouldn't be so sure it's him and not some kind of incantation.
Wait a minute. What is that?
It is him. It is him. We found him. I told you he was here.
And then you catch a glimpse. Go ahead and move your characters where you are, or where they are in this case.
I still don't see anything with black.
I would be next to the guards, I guess. Right? Wait a minute.
Well, we would have. I would have
Yeah,
been.
me too.
over
I would have ran
here.
up to the guards. Yeah.
For some reason I can't.
I initially would have been here because that's where the hole was.
There we go.
And then
Yeah.
if the guards are yelling something and I walk down here,
So you guys are all staying behind the guards?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the guy, I'm assuming that's the guy that's like, he's here, right?
Yes. Give me a perception check.
Okay. And I was going to say, would I perception 11 plus 15 total? Yeah, I guess 15 total. I'll ask my question after whatever that was rolled for.
What did you get?
15 total.
Okay, yes. You don't actually know who Tommy Two Tones is, Super. But you do see.
he knows the name because I talked to him about it.
What you do see is a gentleman who's rather short in stature. Seems to be shivering in fear, but also dazzling in a brilliant red cloak.
Would I recognize his voice as one of the voices in the caves that I heard earlier?
You would.
It was him. Or
Indeed.
one of the,
He was one of the voices. He has a very peculiar two tones that he always speaks in. So you're able to definitely catch that.
like, strange cave dweller. What brings you here, and who is it that you seek?
You see him looking behind him, looking at you, looking behind him, and then slowly moving to like just the corner. And he sits down, kind of postured against the wall, hugging the staff that he holds in his hand.
Like, I kind of see him do that, but I also see on my screen there's like two people further in the cave.
Well, he was saying something to somebody. I'd like to squint and see if I can't see somebody further down there.
Right.
And as he's looking and as he's cowering, behind Tommy approaches two incredibly formidable adventurers. Their intimidating look stems partially from their composure, their stride, and the scars that they carry that seem to only come from grit and deep combat experience. One is a very tall, slender-built man, standing at what you would presume to be 7 feet tall, maybe larger. A scar down the right side of his face, wearing a tattered black vest, split open in the front, with both sides hanging down along his legs as if weighed down by something. The other is a much shorter 3.5, 4 foot man with a very large sailor's pirate hat. As he walks closer into the light, you see his ears. Though he is pale in complexion, his ears look somewhat goblin-like.
Oh, is this? Oh no, he wouldn't be the goblin that we picked up because he was not looking good. I don't think. Is it the goblin that we picked up? That one guy?
It is not. The goblin was a little less of a leader.
Yeah, I know that's what I figured, but might as well ask, I guess.
Though this is a short man, if you will, he is walking with a certain bolster that almost demands respect from you until you look at him and go, eh. But just the way he carries himself doesn't seem to shy away from a large group of people in the midst of a cave.
I'd be like, hey, what gives? Like, kind of wary, you know what I mean? Like, not trying to sound like a dick, but kind of like, what gives? Like, what brings you here?
Why are two sailors in the sewer? These seas are not for sailing.
The big one looks down at the little one. The little one doesn't return the look. Looks dead ahead at you. The glimmer of red in his eyes says,
Hello there, adventurers. I'm Siddle. It seems to me that your party is of good moral standard.
he begins to ponder around you with his eyes.
Assisting in necessary work for the good of all of Ironton. Would my assessment be correct?
We have our reasons for doing what we're doing, but yes, I guess we're doing good.
Yes, we have outstanding moral character. I don't mean to brag, but who are you, Siddle, and what are you doing here? Are you sent on orders to help us?
Ha! I am sent on a mission indeed. I come with a quarrel. But I must admit, gentlemen, this is not a quarrel with your party. Who may I be making the acquaintance of speaking with?
First, what is this quarrel you speak of?
Well,
If you don't know who we are, how can you know you're not quarreling with us?
You quarreling with our dwarf friends or what?
I'm a man who is friend amongst dwarves, as well as a few enemies. I do not believe your dwarven friend.
And he looks behind you. You see Red Cloud must have been sipping on rum recently, takes one swig, and then just kind of keels over and hits the ground a little unconscious.
It
Nice.
seems he's having a good time, and I'm no man to get in the way of a good time. We're in search of somebody.
We are all somebody.
We're all searching for things.
Give me an insight check, Xander.
Mm.
He looks at you and says, "We are indeed," and gives you a wink.
It's a 9.
Who is this guy at this captain's hat? What's going on here? Kind of like to.
So, do you have
believe
names?
it?
So, do you have names? Or am I the only one who is kind enough to give my acquaintance?
You'll have to
Mine-
forgive us. We've been on the guard down here, shoveling excrement and being attacked. I personally am a little bit on edge. And without knowing your business down here, you come down speaking of quarrels and asking for names. I have been the subject of an assassin before, and I don't intend to leave myself open for the opportunity again. So if you don't mind, before I give you my name, won't you please tell us what your business is here in the sewers?
Well, indeed, and I hope for no fight at all. I am just wanting to get to know the party a little bit better so I can judge the actions we might partake. My friend here, Cecil, and I are more vigilantes of sorts. Would not call myself an assassin by any means, for a good fight should happen head on.
Hmm.
I see, and your vigilanteing has brought you into these sewers under what pretense? You speak in riddles.
Riddles I do not mean to.
Well,
What is
you're
your relation to,
not doing it.
what was that?
So, well, you're not doing a good job of not speaking in riddles. Like Super's like kind of eyeing him still, not like, still wary.
Fair enough. I said I come with a quarrel, and indeed I do. And once again, this is not a quarrel with your party. But there is a thief among you.
Well, that's something I can get behind.
Is my mission. I hope you gentlemen understand.
And he puts his hand on his weapon in caution.
I
Well,
understand, but who are you accusing of being a thief amongst our party? You say you don't know us, but now you accuse one of us of being a thief? What's the deal with that? Who's the thief?
What was stolen?
That too. Swashbuckler. And I like point at him.
The big one looks down, looks back up. He looks right at you, Xander. He says nothing.
And
wait a second. How do you know this guy? How do you know this guy over here, Mr. Two Tones? Is he your employer?
Question. Great question.
Did you come down on
Xander
his
starts
invitation?
to have a well, I don't know who you are, who you think I am, but I'm not who you think I am. So the best thing to do is to just part ways now.
The big one looks at the little one. Fiddle is still peering in your direction, and his eyes kind of glance over to the rest of them. How long have you all been a party? I'm just a tad bit curious.
Can you see it now?
Long enough not to just throw one of our own to these two random strangers in a cave.
Touche.
It's been many a nights that we've all been together, and we've seen a lot in that time.
So he's looking at you all. Could you describe me how your character looks in their demeanors?
Super is just kind of arms crossed, like legs, kind of like a Peter Pan stance, I guess, like arms crossed, legs kind of wide, standing there, like squinting at him. Chest kind of puffed to make himself look tough.
Xander is actually, this is actually accurate. He is standing behind the other two. It seems just about every question that he answers or anytime he speaks, he ends up looking up and to the right or left or just up and out of the way. And it's hard to maintain eye contact, but he is doing his best to maintain some composure.
Mm-hmm. Show, how do you look?
Show's still trying to keep a conversation going. He's not like he was on edge at first, but when the guy said that he didn't mean for any harm to come or for he wasn't here to fight, Show believes that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still just trying to get dialogue going. Like he's a little incredulous, but he's like got a relaxed body language, and he's kind of like approached them, like while they were talking, he's kind of stepped past the guard to speak with them.
Okay.
Can Xander see Two Tones over there?
You can. You can see him against the wall, kind of behind a rock.
He is going to deadlock eyes with Tommy Two Tones and stare at him until he looks at him.
Okay. I'll let you know when you guys make eye contact. The guards are still very tense, weapons drawn and ready. Do you want to tell them to put those down?
No,
because as much as Show's like trying to keep the situation calm, he's got enough sense to realize that there's some tension in the air because these guys are being evasive.
Okay. Indeed. The big one goes ahead and says, "We do not want to fight at all. We're here strictly on business. And I wonder if there is a trade that we might be able to make here. Something that you would claim to be more useful and valuable to your moral efforts."
Gold, says Super.
Quiet, Super. They haven't told us what they want to trade for yet.
Oh, all right.
And the little one flicks a gold coin up in the air and catches it, puts it in his pocket.
Super's like,
they haven't even said what it is they're looking for.
Well, our good friend here, the singer, we found him outside of a ball the other night. And he told us of a competitor, if you will. A competitor that might have stolen the show. Now, normally, I would say that this is a frivolous matter, except for, What I've heard amongst the town is that stolen show was taken with a certain enchantment, if you will.
Oh, you're talking about my tricks.
Ah, so now we know who we are talking about here. Now I will lay claim to your party. I mean you no harm, but we have been tasked to take this man with us, for he harbors an item which belongs to my employer. This is why you must understand. I asked how long you have been adventuring together.
Oh, it's been what, 2-3 months?
Since the ball?
No, that we've met each other.
Oh yeah.
No,
yeah.
this is Xander's skeletons in his closet. This is an explanation maybe for his incredibly magical playing. Something he has she's taken before we met. Xander, do you care to enlighten us on this matter? If you would like our help in it, I think it would be fair if you cleared the air.
I think Soompa knows what it is too.
Yes, Xander.
Himself.
If your party does not know of the character in which you are, I think this would be a perfect moment to entertain the crowd.
Thank you, Show, for that enlightening.
And then this is when Tommy Two Tones looks directly at you.
Right.
When everybody looks directly at you.
Yes.
Oy. Probably fake Jason.
Tommy. Well played, sir. Well played. However, I do not think I am the one you're looking for, because the way that I amplify my sounds is through prestidigitation and through lighting and through magical means.
Which are not legal as far as I know.
Although we have not registered yet here in the town, we have not had time. But it's through mere prestidigitation. It's how I was taught in the Bard's College. Would you like a demonstration? And I will take out.
He says, "Do not dare."
Oh.
But what is it that you wield?
A flute. And he'll take it off his belt and hold up a flute.
This is not the instrument that I had heard echoing within this chamber. Not but an hour ago.
That is the prestidigitation. I can make it sound like whatever I want it to sound like. It's not a simple feat. Few bards can do it. But I had a very good instructor.
The big one begins to step back a little bit. And he says, "Pardon me, I just know of bards and their enchantments, and I'd rather not be within earshot, if you will." He begins to put his fingers in his ears. He actually takes something that he's chewing, goes, puts that in one of his ears, his hand in his pocket, and his thumb in his other ear.
I'm afraid you've got me wrong. I'm not that kind of bard. I merely play for the pleasure of people, not for sorcery.
Siddle looks up and says, "Show me the stringed instrument sound from that little flute you have in your hands."
Very good. So he'll take the flute. How far away are they from me? They're still a pretty good way, right?
Yeah, you'd imagine somewhere between 30, 40, maybe 50 feet.
All right, and I am facing towards them. So Sonya would be on my back. So, and he's merely going to say to Sonya over his shoulder that, all right, I need you to play for me. And he's going to begin to play his flute. And he's going to flare his hands first, and he's going to play his flute, and have the sound like that of a lute.
Give me a sleight of hand check with advantage.
Dang. Well, it got to be better than that. 13.
He seems to completely buy what you're doing. So, oh, what a miraculous trick.
Like I said, not many can do it, but it took me many years to master it. And that's why I get so much coin. It's a great feat.
Xander, I completely understand, and I'm sure it took tireless hours of practice. But if you don't mind me asking, where exactly do you hail from?
Well, I hail from wherever I am at the time. I've been a wanderer most of my life.
Ah, yes.
From the far reaches, I've gone as far as Waterdeep. I trek all the way on the other side of the continent. I've been to numerous small towns along the way. Many loves lost.
So more specifically, did you come through the islands to the west to get here? Or did you take the less explored route?
Less explored. Islands to the west, I would say no. I believe I just came on a boat. Our boat didn't quite make it. I had to swim the rest of the way.
Well, fair enough. At this point, it is pretty late in the day. And I'm sorry to make my acquisition. To the party, I hope you could accept my apology for both me and my very large friend. He looks at you, Sho.
Yes, I suppose I accept your apology. You see, we're on a disgusting mission, and you're down here trying to arrest my friend for being a musician and wasting our time. But you seem polite enough. Thank you.
Indeed.
Super goes, excuse me.
Oh, I see you do have an eye for the riches, young one. What is your name?
Super, don't wear it out. He's all like, he's kind of, a little irritated with them.
He says, I wouldn't dare. Would you mind if we joined you all for lunch? We might be able to even assist with your mission of sorts.
Well, honestly, we're almost finished.
For lunch, then?
Lunch with this smell is not pleasant. I think we'll probably just push on through. Perhaps we may meet you for dinner.
I like that idea. Perhaps dinner. Sho, were you going to say something? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, well, you could show us your apology by helping us finish. We're almost done here.
Oh, of course, indeed. Our good friend Two Tones is probably pretty good with a shovel. And he tosses one over into his corner, lands on the ground, gives him a nod. Two Tones kind of hesitates, grabs it. And then they both walk up and says, I don't mind some good labor myself. And this big brute next to me, could shovel probably 4 times the shit than anybody else can.
Great. I give him my shovel. Say I needed a break right now, anyways.
Of course, he takes it to you, and as he goes by, first off, Two Tones is going first. It seems walking toward the shit piles, and as he starts to pass by,
I am going to use prestidigitation to change the color of my loot to green.
Okay. And as he passes by you, Super, he tosses you that gold coin.
Snatch it out of the air. I pocket it and I kind of look at him like, all right.
And I am actually going to stand in the way of him.
Give me a perception check, Sander.
Come on, give me something good. 18.
Hey.
Notice his eyes looking still directly at you shift a little bit and come back.
Shift towards the other two, or shift what way?
Over your shoulder. Specifically, as you were casting prestidigitation, you looked up and you saw his eyes looking dead at you.
And I'm going to put my hand up and say, tell me I believe you have something that belongs to me.
He stands right in front of you.
He was the thief all along. And I point at Tommy Two Tones.
Tommy disrobes his red robe and hands it over to you immediately.
His robe. Sorry, I know Super wouldn't know, but wasn't it his cape? He took it.
Yeah, it was my cloak that I had.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing, Tommy? Like, it's like a Super ass because he doesn't understand the situation. Why are you disrobing? Like, we're about to slog in some shit. Like, put something on.
And I'll flick it, cast prestidigitation again, and pull the junk off of it, and say, there. Now it smells a little better. And I'll throw it over top of my shoulders. And now it fits much better.
All right, so they
Now,
approach.
if you don't mind, use your shovel.
He walks by you, head to the ground, goes over and assists one of the engineers. The other two walk in. The larger one begins shoveling shit at the lower corner as well. The smaller gentleman seems to be encouraging and looking over the party, quite intimate, having some chit-chat, a few jokes here or there, keeping the engineers engaged and focused. You can notice a morale boost amongst the engineers themselves. Just the way he speaks and the way he guides with a little bit of light banter, the engineers' morale of moving shit and moving earth seem to be getting better, and they become more productive with his banter coming about. As they are amongst your party, helping assist, let's shave 1 more hour off.
Nice.
That being said, we're going to take a break.
All right.
Grab your drinks, grab your wangs, go to the bathroom, do what you need to do.
We'll be back.
Well, that was crazy. All right, everybody. Well, here's our map, and All right. Hi, everybody.
Did you? Hell yeah. All right, all right. Wow. Oh shit, a low battery. What the hell? I shouldn't have that. That's no good. You need a DM. Do, do, do. No thanks, I don't want to install Messenger. Ba-da-bum. Henry Bryant. Bloom. You rolled a 2, eh? Board puzzles, shooting mechanics.
I have a lot of really bad rolls today.
Dude, it's not charging. This is not a good news. This is a bad news. Oh, it's not plugged in. It's funny how that works. Doo-doo-doo. I swear, I had a giant bag of dice, and it must be half the dice I started with. I have no idea where the dice all went off to. I only use them in this room, and there isn't like a pile of dice on my floor. They just vanish. It's every natural one, the dice just disappears. I have to go buy new ones.
Yeah, my son came over Friday to borrow my player's handbook, monster manual, and DM's guide. He's like, "So can I use your dice too?" So I have 2 sets left, and he took my big bag of dice.
Uh-huh.
I told him when we play, he's 23, and I told him I'd ask you about it. But if we ever needed another player, he can fill in.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, we seem to have a total of 7 players now, but I think we've never had more than 4 in a single game. So, at some point, as the ebbs and the flows kind of come, I'm sure there's going to be room for somebody to join in. By the way, Gruckter had reached out randomly talking about how much he wanted to show up for a game and his character and all this stuff. And then, we chatted back and forth for about 2 days and then went silent once again.
He must have woken up and then...
Yeah, he pulled the Snorlax.
Or maybe he got hit with another poison dart and out again.
He does have a bad habit of that. All right. Oh, do we have any advertisements ready?
No, do you have any?
This episode brought to you by a jug of water, completely unbranded.
Wow.
Water is good, and the only reason we are here is because water exists. And also, you couldn't make alcohol without water.
True. And most liquors, if I'm not mistaken, if not all liquors.
And most liquors. Now, Cutting Edge Science is making powdered alcohol, though I haven't actually seen it or understand the process of making it. Maybe powdered alcohol will be our next sponsor.
Frankly, not too interested in powdered alcohol.
How do you just add water?
That's the idea. I mean, I'm sure if you have anything in powder, some asshole is going to try to snort it. I just don't know what's going to happen if you snort powdered alcohol.
That would probably fuck you up. Really sideways, man.
I mean, you got dumbasses that eat Tide Pods, so
it's true.
Well, they taste like grapes,
and they're delicious.
I'm just joking. Full disclaimer: do not eat a Tide Pod. If I get taken down on social media for saying that right there, that's gonna suck. All right. We now only qualify for adult viewership. And hope that all people over 18 are smart enough.
They're not.
Tide Pod. Yeah.
There's
survival of the fittest. Natural selection at its best. Cool. All right. Okay. So we're back from our advertisement break once we have a sponsor a few years from now, and we're looking back and can slot somebody in for a few dollars there. Welcome back to ShoreShack Adventures. I hope you all had a nice break, as I know we did. After a tenseful conversation with 3 individuals who approached the party, they're now helping you and cut off an hour of work. As they begin going, shoveling and moving along with the cantrips, Xander, go ahead and give me a perception roll.
Oh, thank God. 19.
All right. You know, there's various conversations happening amongst the party. Siddle is conversing with all sorts of individuals. Says something here or there to Super. Says something here or there to Show. Doesn't seem to be making too much contact with you though. Besides the occasional banter. As you're watching this, feeling however it is that you feel. Actually, let's take a moment. Xander, tell us, how do you look? What is your composure? What are you doing in this midst of heavy work?
He feels a lot better about himself now, but he has he looks like, as an example, so when you've done something and you think you've gotten away with it and you've got that kind of all right, I got this. I'm good. You know, I'm in the clear. I'm good. So he's kind of got that. All right, I think this is going in my favor. I think this is going my way. I'm good. And you know, he's not really getting to where they're at. He is helping, whether it be by using the unseen servant, or just sitting down and playing his flute to lighten the mood.
Okay, describe to me how you're playing the lute.
Flute.
Okay, just wondering.
Flute.
As you begin to play, you notice the engineers get a little distracted. There's a little bit of competition between their attention, the work, and what Siddle is kind of cracking them up about. All of a sudden behind you, down the same direction in which they came, the same direction in which you came, you hear another. The ground around you starts to shake. The engineers hold still. Plumes of dust come bellowing by you in the same direction that these new party members had just come from. You know that this is the direction of the exit. It seems there was another cave-in of sorts.
Well, shit.
Super. Do you want to go with me and check it out?
Always.
All right. So while they continue doing what they're doing, hey guys, we're going to go check out and see how far back that cave-in happened.
Okay.
Because I do want to get back there again. Because remember, that's where the what's it called? It's like the fire fairy fruit.
Yeah, so Super, this cave-in is coming from the opposite direction in which you went.
Okay, well that's still fine, but I still remind them, like, I do want to go back and see if we could get to that fire fairy fruit.
But you do recall that was going to go into bloom in about 4 to 12 hours from when you last saw it. It's been currently about 3 hours, maybe approaching the 4th hour since you've seen it as well.
Fire pixie fruit, excuse me. Pixie fruit.
Okay, so Xander, you and Super take off. And you go up and you find a cave-in just where the path turns right and begins to spiral upwards. There's a cave-in a pinch about 100 yards from the holes in which you were digging. It looks rather compact. There aren't very large boulders per se, but a lot of sand and a lot of small boulders, which leaves not much room for air.
Well, I hope nobody was hurt up above. We are underneath the city, aren't we?
Super is just staring at the rock.
Sorry. I got distracted.
He's completely lost. Maybe not the exploratory friend you hoped he'd be.
Yeah, I'm just like, Sorry. Holy smokes, what's all this in front of us?
Yes. Aren't we directly under the city here?
You know that you are.
So if we've had this much dirt fall, would that be damaging to the city up above?
Give me an intelligence check.
Oh, let me do that. Because that's going to be my strong suit. 18.
You know, strangely, thinking back into your travels, going through and escaping or breaking friends out to various prisons, etc., earthquakes, whatever it is that you must have been into. You think back about some of the quakes that have happened, and you are familiar that a cavern itself, when many layers of open air, can fall within itself without disturbing the higher layers of that. So let's pretend you have a lot of different caverns kind of stacked on top of
Okay. Okay.
That being said, it is obvious that it could also do damage, but it doesn't necessarily mean it did.
Well, let's give a full examination of this cave-in so we can give them our full professional opinion on whether we can get back this way.
As you come up to it, you do notice that the rocks within are rather hot. You can touch them, you can move them, but they are much warmer than the air within this cavern.
I feel like there's a lava vein, if you would, like above us or something. Otherwise, I don't know why these would be so much hotter than the environment we're in.
Yeah, perhaps it's just the hot air from the lavas in a tube that is, I don't know, maybe the forced gas has heated this rock up or caused it to carve itself out more, but it's pretty daggone convenient that about the time we're trying to leave, that it caves in.
The roll of a 2.
Well,
give me a perception check, Xander.
I've already had too many good rolls. 8.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Which is great. Right, Mike?
It is. Holy cow. You also, as the mention of gas, Super, you do begin to smell something.
Sorry.
Is it gas, but not the kind that Xander passes?
Or is it the buildup of the methane?
Right. Can I
You,
tell that?
you sniff, You wait a moment for Xander's fart to potentially subside. You sniff again. It seems to be still there. You wait a little bit more, just in case it was just a real thick one. You inhale again, and it's at the same strength consistently over the 3 inhales, not dissipating at all.
Shit. Okay. That's not
Exactly.
safe. Oh, is that what it is then? It's just shit? Maybe from a pipe from above us, like the pipes are collapsing, maybe. I don't
What
know.
would you like to do?
I guess we should go back and tell, the engineers about the situation.
Right. Well, we should go back and tell everybody that this way is blocked. So we either have to find another way out through one of the chutes up above us or dig our way out here. But either way, this could add time onto us.
And you do know there are other cave exits, though you were never mapped to where they were or have any sense of how far away they might be.
But the dwarves might know.
They might.
It is their tunnels.
Indeed. All right, so you guys make your way back to the rest of the troop. They look like they're just about finishing up. Maybe one more hour's worth of work.
What did it look like over there?
The tunnels collapsed. So the stairwell coming down is completely closed off.
Seems to be getting stuffier in here too.
And I think that kind of knocked out whatever fresh air supply we had coming in.
That's a good point.
We better get moving somewhere fast. Good thing we have all these engineers and people willing to dig with us. Anything else about it?
It's a little warm.
A little warm, huh?
I'm guessing it's either from forced air off of a lava flow or some type of forced air up through one of these caverns, but the rocks are hot to the touch. It might end up getting a little bit hotter in here, seeing how we're surrounded by lava on one side and coming up through the pit. So we're kind of surrounded by heat in here now.
Well, maybe. There might be another way out of here, right?
Well,
Seems like
actually, we have the
ourselves.
tunnel that our visitors came through.
That's true. It's a little bit
We can
small,
always
but we
reopen
could
that
all-
hole.
could all crawl through there or crouch through there.
Cyril speaks up and says, "Are you saying we're trapped in here?" Or, "Are you saying we're trapped in here?"
Well, it seems like we might be able to go out the way that we came in.
Well, let's get all of these engineers back to work, eh? I mean, pardon my lack of civility, but
No, you're absolutely right. We should get this job done quickly and get moving.
it stinks.
Well, you did come into a sewer. I'm just sorry you didn't find what you were looking for.
Oh, aren't you?
Very much so. But I do thank you because I did find what I was looking for. And he fluffs the red cloak around his shoulders.
Well, Xander, I believe that is your name. It does look rather spiffy.
And the big man goes, "Sure does.
Do you like it, Cecil?
Indeed. Gives it a little flair in such a dusty, dirty place."
Well, here. And I will take it off and I'll give it to Cecil. It really doesn't mean anything to me. I've had it for years. But I just didn't want him to have it.
It's fine. That wouldn't fit me.
Well, and he puts it back on and ties it in.
All right. He gives you a smirk and then gets back to work. You guys wrap up the whole building. The engineers seem content, though rather exhausted for shoveling for about 5 or 6 hours straight. It's time to figure out a way out of here. You have a crashed cavern on one side. You have a crashed cavern on the other side. You have a shithole above you. You have a long, deep hole beneath you. And you have a side cavern that these giant dwarves seem to come out of.
First thing, I'm going to go disarm my trap and reclaim all my parts from that.
Okay. So while Xander goes and disappears up north, lets you know what he's doing, what are the rest of you doing?
I'm going to open up the cavern that the giant orcs came out of, or dwarves came out of.
Okay. With the wave of your hand and a couple hums, those all begin to move out, and the cavern is now open again. Super.
While Xander goes to collect his things, I quickly go back. I'll be like, hey guys, I'll be right back. I need to double check something. And I go to the cave-in that Xander and I just went to go check just like a few minutes before. And you mentioned like the rocks were warm and stuff. Mm-hmm. Can I like see if there was any sort of like explosion? You know, it wasn't like a natural cave-in is basically what I'm looking for evidence of.
Give it an investigation check.
I guess I'll use that.
Or give it a nature check. Go ahead and do that.
All right, 14 total.
With a 14, you see no evidence of foul play.
Okay. Can I hear any evidence of foul play? No.
You put your ear up to it and listen deeply. And here, no foul play here.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I'm not gonna be one of those like just keep on rolling checks or whatever. So I'll be like,
no, you actually do hear that. Like you actually hear that.
Oh, I'm like, who's there? Like I say to the rock, like, hello.
No response.
Oh, okay. Like maybe I'm going crazy. And I like kind of like look around. Do I smell anything that's I mean, I know that there was that smell before. Is that smell persisting?
That smell is persisting.
Okay. I don't smell like any sort of like explosive chemicals, you know, like gunpowder.
Not that you could recognize. It's more of a sweet smell.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's interesting. All right, I can make my way back to the group.
Okay. Xander, you're able to take your trap.
Okay.
Give me. Yeah. You're able to take it. I think. Do you have expertise with trapping or anything like this?
I have expertise with trapping. Is that like something?
I don't know. It should be
Survival.
Okay. Oh, you have expertise in survival. We'll go with that.
Well, I'm proficient in survival.
Bingo. That works for me. You can gather your traps without ever potentially setting them off.
Okay.
All right. The hole is open. Do you wish to go down said hole?
Well, Cecil, can you fit?
No. He looks through and says, "You probably get in, but it's going to be a slow haul. Let me know how far I must go, and then I'll let you know if it's worth it."
Well, it's worth it not to die, right?
Well, I have my standards.
Let's all right, well,
I'm into it. I think we should go. I think it's the best option we have right now.
let's go.
Tired of digging.
Well, actually, let's ask the dwarves first. Is there another way out?
Oh, yes, this way. To the north. And they begin to walk up, and then they experience and look at the cave-in and realize, oh, shit, there's a cave-in up north, too. That was the only way I knew how to get out besides the way we came. This other hole was not here yesterday. But what I can tell you is down is not up.
And up is not down?
Is this the 30-degree incline down? I thought it was up.
It was a 30 incline down. They
Oh.
go,
So
it might turn. It might turn and come back up, but from what we can tell, at least it won't go to the surface.
we have the chutes up above us.
That sure would be shitty.
Right.
I don't
That's
know.
the way that Sumper came back to us, is through the
Well-
chutes above us.
No, it was through like these. Oh, I guess it was through one.
It
of the
was, but he was a squirrel.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was going with the flow of the poop. We'd be having to fight the current, like a literal shit current the whole way up, too, if we tried going through the chutes.
You guys
All
have
right.
found yourselves in a predicament.
We're starting. I mean, should we see if the engineers would be able to dig through the cave in from the way we came in? We could ask them.
I'm concerned about the warmth of those rocks. Are the rocks up north warm as well? And if nobody knows, I'd like to go check.
The rocks up north, Super, you would know, fell over top of magma,
Right.
right? And so for that reason alone, they're warm.
Right.
With a quick excursion, you go up and you notice that the pile is kind of smoldering at the bottom, but the top doesn't look malleable by any means. And your expertise that seems to have been encompassing your mind about rock stones and the things of the like say that this stone would be more malleable if it was hot.
Okay. So I guess maybe we should go dig by the way that we came up. If it's warmer, that might mean it's easier to move around. So to be
maybe
careful.
Not that malleable.
Not that malleable.
I just mean as magma. Well, you notice that the stones are hot from the magma beneath them, but not any hotter otherwise. Put it that way.
Gotcha. Well, yes. So it would seem as if there's magma up north and where we came from. But up north, there seems at least to be, we might be able to go over the magma as opposed to just crack open the rocks and allow in a flow of lava. So my thought is, I guess, now to dig our way out from up north here and see if we can get through this cave-in.
Let's try it.
Wouldn't hurt.
All right, engineers.
All right, so you guys make your way up north. You guys
For
have
Cecil.
a lot of people. What's up?
For Cecil.
All right. He goes, much appreciated. There's a not a dead. Yeah, both of these guys are dead. All right, cool. So you guys all make your way up. You have to walk across a few pieces of rock in order to get to the cave-in. But once you get to the cave-in, it's pretty solid ground. Sumber shows you the rocks that you kind of hop on if you've done this before. He comes up to the cave-in. In the cave-in, this part of the cavern is much higher. You have about a 25-foot ceiling, maybe 30-foot ceiling, stacked with much larger boulders. The engineers give it a look, talk to Soomper. You let him know that there is some space in another cavern up above. They look in and take an instrument that they poke into the rock, do some calculations for about 10, 15 minutes and say, this will be about 2 hours work.
All right.
Well, while they're doing their calculations, I will do a concentration and do Unseen Servant, or a ritual cast of Unseen Servant.
All right.
Oh, I suppose I better do that too. 2 unseen servants
right.
better than 1.
Roll me a d10. 5 or more shaves an hour off.
Do you want me to do that, Xander, or you got it?
You can do it. You got
All
one.
right. No, I don't. I have the digital one though.
6 or more. Pardon. 6 or more.
8.
Nice work. As they're shoveling, Super, roll me a d20.
11 without any modifier.
Everybody, roll me a perception check.
12 total for me.
17.
I think I'm 17 as well.
Okay. 17. Ah, 17 for Xander. All right. Xander and Sho, you both seem to feel that the ceiling above you and underneath the magma behind you begins to bubble, but almost in a certain pattern where it seems to be concentrated from a single point. Bubbles kind of from all over begin bubbling and concentrating into a single point, coming from both walls and the land, and the bubbles just start erupting kind of behind you from a single point for several minutes. It puts you on edge.
So true. Sho, do you see that?
Oh yeah. Bubbling.
I don't like that.
I don't like the bubbling at all. Do you think that we could help try and seal it?
Is there a way to cool down the lava?
No, but we could maybe move dirt over it or in front of it.
Well, yeah, I asked the engineers, like, hey, have you see this? Like, what would you suggest needs to happen?
See what? And
The bubbling magma.
Super, you're trying to peer over there and you can't seem to see it.
Oh, never mind.
Even do the rest of them.
Try it, Sho. Maybe we can. Maybe if we cover it up and put enough earth on it, it'll.
All right.
Harden over top of it. I don't know.
All right. I'd like to cast mold earth and see if I could just cover the magma up a bit where it's bubbling up.
Okay. And now, just to give some sense of where everyone is, let me move them somewhere over there now. There's actually something over here you should be able to see. Oh, there's a wall. Okay, there's some wall blocking your vision. Oh, that's the cave-in. Of course it is. Okay, so as you cast this, the bubbles start to move closer and closer and closer to you both. Sho, you're standing on a rock south. Xander, you're standing on a rock a little north. There's a gate. There's a hole between both of you. It's about 8 feet wide of magma. The bubbling starts to come in bigger and bigger, the rocks that you're standing on begin to shake around you.
All right. How far is it to get back to ground?
About 20 feet.
All right, I'm going to make my way back to ground.
Okay. You begin to run it and back to the main ground. You feel a little bit more content. The rest of your party is still over there. The bubbling still commences around you. The rock you're standing on is almost...
Everyone, perhaps you should come join me for a moment.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get all the engineers off to be like, all right, everybody, we need to get off of this rock. It looks like it's about to explode.
Explode? Oh. They kind of question you a little bit and begin to follow your lead back over. Let's see. Go ahead and make sure none of them roll me a 1 on dexterity. All right. They're able to hop over. No issue. What gives you the idea things are about to explode?
I just saw some bubbling. I tried to point it out to him.
And now you see the lava is just bubbling profusely, kind of all around itself. The whole pool of magma is now almost erupting, with lava flying and flailing little drops to and fro. The engineer's like, oh, "Hey, Bilbo, do you see it?" "What? No, I can't see what he's talking about."
You see no bubbling and sizzling of lava right there?
It's splattering everywhere.
He's looking at you. He's looking back at you. And he's like, "No. You're saying that you do see something."
Yes. I would like to sort of like can I feel the heat? I'd like to sort of get close carefully to where I'm seeing this sputtering lava. And am I feeling heat off of it?
Yeah, you get real close, and suddenly a small piece comes and flies. Roll me a dex save.
Okay. I don't think I have any modifier in my dex. No, I don't. So 11.
It comes flying right at you, and you look, and you're startled. You almost freeze like a deer in headlights. This glob of molten lava hits your chest, and you can just hear tss, and you start to shake and you fall to the ground, trying to pull it off of you. And the engineers come over and say, "Are you okay? What's going on?" And then you gasp a big inhale of breath, and it seems to be gone. There's no burn on you. There's nothing.
What kind of incantation is this? I look over to Soomper and Xander to see if they've seen what's going on.
What was
Two of the
that?
engineers both fall to the ground, and they're thinking the same thing now. They're like, "I see it! I see it! It's getting us home!"
But fellows, calm down. I think that this is some kind of a magical illusion.
Soompa looks at where are those other 2 guys that came with us. I ask if they like. I don't ask them actually. I look at them, suspicious like.
They're sitting kind of against a wall there. One's chewing a piece of wood, looking at you all, not saying anything, but kind of questioning and assessing the situation. Roll me an insight check. Super, you don't see the magma at all. You don't see bubbles. You don't see anything.
Right. Dude, with insight fucking 23. I have fat insight, bro.
So you have 2 of these engineers. One of the engineers thinks all of you guys are crazy. 2 of them are on the ground, completely absorbed, it seems, by the image that Show had painted in their mind now.
Right.
The other 2 individuals, the Seaworthy individuals, are looking at all of this with intrigue, though with no understanding of what's going on.
Can I go and ask like, hey, what's that wood you chewing on? We just ate lunch. You can't be that hungry.
Toothpick.
Oh, can I have a toothpick?
Sure.
All right.
Here's your toothpick.
And then I, do the toothpick thing. Do I notice anything?
Nothing.
All right, fair enough.
Eventually, over some time, you guys all seem to take each other ready. Whatever it was, fucked with you guys for a little bit. But for now, it seems like everyone's level-headed and realizes that something was wrong, either with your mind or with an illusion or with something.
Right. It wasn't natural, if you would. Natural, I guess.
Super, roll me a nature check, actually.
Oh, not very good. 7 total.
So sometimes goes on. You see no other peculiar bubbling or anything of the sort. Would you like to continue?
All right. It seems like everything's cleared up. Engineers back to digging.
Indeed.
All right, roll me a d20.
No, I do have to leave like within 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll speed things up here.
There it is.
14.
All right. So the you are able to pull off that top rock, and you can see the magma on the other side kind of shining through some light. Suddenly air, much cooler air, or fresher air, if you will, kind of flows through. You guys have made it through. It's a small hole. As you guys continue through it, what's the marching order here?
Well, the engineers were up first, so
Well, we should get if we're getting. Do we know we're getting out of we've made an opening?
You made an opening through the wall.
Okay. Well, I would like to keep the engineers safe. I'd like to keep all the dwarves safe. I think that's the first priority.
but
I can go first, but I think you can take more hits, Xander. So I think you should lead us.
Oh, yeah, I probably can. All right, so I'll go.
We can lead, no problem.
No, dwarves. Hold on. This is our job. This is what we're here for. We have to make sure that your passage is safe. Allow us to do that at least.
All right, so I'll go through first and have Super right behind me.
I'll follow.
All right.
I'll go behind the dwarves.
Okay. And then Red Cloud, and then the two piratey individuals. Say aye. Looks like we're making some progress. Tommy Two Tones is hanging back with them. Far from you.
Why? Does he think I'm going to push him in the lava? All right.
Actually, to be fair, he I'm trying to think from his perspective. He doesn't like you. These other guys, he's not the fondest of. Yeah, he's going to be with them. He's going to be with them. Not out of his own fruition. All right. So you guys make it through. When the engineers are just coming through, Super, you and Xander are in a much larger cavern. Super, this is the same cavern that you began to explore yourself, going upwards in elevation that opens up. Just as the second engineer pokes his head through, you hear a loud whining throughout the caverns ahead of you.
Is it a coyote?
It's not a coyote. It seems more like a whimpering baby.
Ugh. Because I've heard coyotes before, man. They sound fucked up like that. They really do. If you ever heard a coyote in the wild, they're weird,
Yeah.
sounding, man. Anyways, but yeah, it sounds more like a baby. All right. I'm like, I get the chills. I'm like, holy shit. Like, what the fuck was that? I guess we're over 18 now, so I could swear. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
All right, let's at least get off the lava and let's keep moving forward.
Right. Yep. Sorry. And like, I get out of the way or whatever to let more people come in.
Okay, you guys are all able to make it up. There's a large cavern in front of you, a quick dip to the left.
All right.
Let
Once
me
the
know-
dwarves get through, we'll ask them, do we follow this route?
The dwarves come up and look before the pirates or Tommy Two Tones comes through. I don't know. This part of the cavern does not look familiar to me at all. I'm judging we're on the main level, though, based on the elevation change.
Based on the elevation change.
Can I super goes up to where like up where those rocks are? Are those the statues that I noticed before?
Yes.
Or what is it? Oh, they are. Okay.
Yes.
Is the pixie fruit ready?
You look, and through the rubble, you can see some pink, fiery fruits.
Ooh.
That seem to, in the buds, in the whatever the penis parts of a flower are.
Right.
Within those, there are little flames kind of shooting out. The petals are ripe to be plucked.
Oh, so like they're good for me to harvest right now?
They're good for you to harvest. You're looking at a statue on the left and the statue on the right. The flowers are coming through the eye sockets, the hollow eye sockets of both of these statues on the left and right of the stone door.
All right. Hell yeah. I harvest them. Oh, nat 20, dude. What?
You're able to pick them just enough. Give yourself 8 helpings.
What? I don't know if you can see it or not.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Now you're able to harvest yourself 8 petals while also keeping the plant alive and in place within the eye sockets of these statues.
Yeah, that would be important to me. I would want to harvest enough that I need, but yeah, to let the plant live.
Yep. So the rest of you come up and you watch Soomper climb across these giant boulders and start sticking his hands through and following vines up and dusting off what looks like a giant dwarven head and harvesting flower petals of pink flowers that are coming out of these hollow eye sockets of this statue. He then moves on over the rubble, lifts up one stone, and begins to harvest again on another set of eye sockets. He moves through, and you notice a giant, he points out, I guess, rather, a giant door that's in between both of these statues underneath a pile of rubble.
Nice. I'm super pumped about this.
It's an old door.
Yeah.
Right.
And I say, hey, I heard you guys like through this door. You must have come through this way. I point at the Tommy Two Tones and the other two pirate guys.
He just says no.
I look at him like I look at him like, can I roll like a perception or something to see if he's lying to me?
Insight.
Insight, yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh, fucking shitty. That's what I get for getting a nat 20. Well, insight is good, but 11 total with the plus
It
7.
looks to you like he's telling the truth.
Okay, yeah. And I accept it as such.
Well, perhaps the cavern's on the other side of this door.
True. I mean, either way, I'm very intrigued by this door.
Well, let's open it.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember how it is. It open already?
It isn't. It's a stone door with runic carvings over the hilt of it. There is no handle.
Can anybody read these carvings?
Our dwarf can.
The dwarf kind of stumbles over. Says, it sure is dwarven.
What did he say?
That sure does look like dwarven to me.
Can you read Dwarven?
He takes another swig and says, well, most of it, but the rest of this door is covered in rubble. You see, it says here, the doors of Doreen. Lord? And then I just see rocks. Could you engineers uncover this for me? And so they begin to move the boulders away. The two statues with the flower eyes become more prevalent. One is a dwarf with a pickaxe and a sword. The other is a dwarf with a fishing rod and a fish on either side of this door.
What's the guy's name? Is it Durin, you said?
Doreen.
Oh, Dorian. Oh, Dorian. He's like the king, right? Right?
He's not.
Wow.
That's
Dorian.
Irmar. The king is Irmar.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting
So close.
Yeah,
Yes.
right there.
You can see Red Cloud walks up to this and says, it says it's a very ancient dialect of dwarf. The doors of Doreen, Lord of Maria. Speak, friend, and enter.
Does it really say that? Are you messing with me? Are you messing with me, dwarf?
Do you know what that means? I'm not messing with you. I can sever your arms.
Well, can you? Whoa! I'm all right. I didn't relax. There's no need to be severing arms right now. I apologize. All right. So, speak, friend, and enter. I know how this riddle works, but I don't know how it would work in the context of this lore, like in terms of what friend would be. So how are the dwarves? I mean, obviously saying friend in common is not the answer. What else are dwarves friends with in this area? I don't know enough about this history.
Or say friend in Dwarvish and see if that works.
Oh, right. That would be a good start.
Well, friend in Dwarvish is just blah, 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 blah. And then as he says that, the jaws of both of the statues drop wide open. And a tongue of stone come out of them and almost fall to the ground. The door itself begins to shake and widen open just a hair as you're getting ready to see what's inside this door. We will end it there.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, 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 bum.
Oh, and over top of that, glowing in dark red letters, say, feed me what I desire, as the jaws both dropped on either of these statues.
Whoa. Ominous.
Feed me what I desire.
Yes.
Oh, it's obviously gold. So Soomper's dead. All right. So that's going to finish us up for the night.
That will.
All right, fellas, or anybody who ever watches us, tune in next week to find out what we don't know is going to happen.
It'll be the best.
All right, we will. I'm going to end it, and then we can talk. All right. Bye, everybody.